Hi, the title of the article that I will be discussing is The Influence of Motivating Operations on Generalization Probes of Specific Demands by Children with Autism. This study was conducted by several authors: Fergale, O'Reilly, Aguilar, Pierce, Lang, Sigafus, and Lancioni. The purpose of the study was to assess the effects of motivating operations, or MOs, on the generalization of newly taught MANs for 3 children diagnosed with autism, ages 4 and 8. Generalization was conducted across settings and people. These served as the independent variables. For the settings, 3 different settings were utilized: a classroom, participants' regular classroom, and cafeteria. For people, 3 doctoral students implemented the study: a trainer, 1 familiar, and 1 unfamiliar communication partners to the participants. The dependent variable in the study was the specific target MAND response. For example, for the first participant, who's a 4-year-old girl, her target response was, "May I have blocks, please?" For IOA, 2 observers independently but simultaneously collected data by scoring the occurrence of target MANDs during each trial while observing the sessions. Agreement on target MANDs across settings was 100% for all 3 participants. Agreement on target MANDs across communication partners was 100% for participant 1 and 2, who are 4-year-old girls, and 98% for participant 3, who's an 8-year-old boy. To ensure treatment fidelity, Fergale et al. Randomized the settings and the communication partners across all 3 participants. In addition, all 3 participants were given 10 seconds to demand for the preferred item and 10 seconds to engage with the item. Therefore, all participants had the same opportunities to engage with the item and ask for it. Results from the study indicate that during baseline, all 3 participants did not use a target MAND for the preferred item during the generalization settings. During the treatment phase, the second participant used the target MAND to MAND for the preferred item, more so in the no access condition than the access condition. However, participants 1 and 3 only started to MAND for items following additional teaching trials. They also MANDed for items more in the no access condition than the access condition. For the communication partners probe, during baseline, the 3 participants did not use the targeted MAND to MAND for the preferred items. During the treatment phase, the second participant used the target MAND to MAND for the preferred item with familiar and unfamiliar partners, more so in the no access condition than the access condition. However, participants 1 and 3 only started to MAND for items following additional teaching trials. They also MANDed for items more in the no access condition than the access condition with familiar and unfamiliar partners. Results from this study indicate that MOs are important to consider when evaluating generalization of specific MANDs by persons with autism. After 2 sets of teaching trials, all 3 participants began to use the newly taught MAND. This was especially true in the deprivation condition. Fergale et al. Hypothesized that restricting access to the preferred items most likely served as an establishing operation. When participants were given access to the item prior to the generalization probes, they did not respond with the newly taught MAND as much. Thus, this may have served as an abolishing operation. All 3 participants used a newly taught MAND primarily when access to the reinforcer was limited. This was observed across settings and communication partners. One limitation to the study is restricting reinforcing items from children whose reinforcers are limited may not be practical. Another limitation is since only one specific MAND was reinforced, other socially acceptable MANDs may not have generalized. Lastly, Fergale et al. Did not include fidelity data for teaching sessions or generalization probes. Overall, I found this article to be especially useful to my project since there are 2 different people, including myself, who are working with my client. Thus, if my client's MANDs continue to increase regarding of who is working with him, then it will be generalizable across persons. Moreover, I am having my client verbalize specific MAND, which is similar to this study. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody else's research articles.